Jerlyn, a young and talented artist from a modest background, leads a quiet life working as a barista at a cozy cafe in the city center. Her passion for art fills the walls of her tiny apartment, and every spare moment is spent capturing fleeting scenes on paper. Jerlyn's dreams, however, often seem out of reach due to financial constraints. Despite her struggles, she maintains an upbeat and determined spirit. One evening, Jerlyn's life takes an unexpected turn when a mysterious customer named Bernard enters the cafe. With his sharp suit, piercing gaze, and an air of authority, he seems like he doesn't belong in a quaint cafe. He looks irritated and preoccupied, and Jerlyn's natural kindness compels her to strike up a conversation. Though initially reserved and cold, Bernard finds himself unexpectedly charmed by her genuine nature and quirky sense of humor. That night, after overhearing Jerlyn discussing her financial troubles, Bernard impulsively offers her a position as his personal assistant. Though initially taken aback, Jerlyn decides to accept the offer, seeing it as an opportunity to ease her financial burden and explore a world beyond her imagination. Little does she know, her decision will bring her into Bernard's world, a place of power, high-stakes business, and hidden pain, and change her life forever. Jerlyn begins her new role as Bernard's assistant, though she feels like an outsider in his upscale office, surrounded by colleagues who look down on her modest appearance. Despite feeling uncomfortable, Jerlyn's tenacity shines through as she meets each task with determination and a fresh perspective. Bernard's demanding nature and high standards prove challenging, but Jerlyn's calmness and strong-willed attitude surprise him. She refuses to be intimidated, often questioning his decisions and even pointing out minor oversights in his work. Rather than being annoyed, Bernard finds himself increasingly intrigued by her direct approach and unaffected honesty. One evening, Bernard invites her to a high-profile charity gala, his intention being both business and an unexpected desire to see how she would handle herself in such a refined setting. Jerlyn feels out of place amidst the glamour and expensive gowns, but she soon surprises everyone, including Bernard, with her natural elegance and grace. As the night progresses, the two share several meaningful glances and brief, sincere smiles. The atmosphere between them is tense yet electric, drawing the attention of Bernard's colleagues and stirring whispers about the unusual assistant. Despite feeling the weight of judgment, Jerlyn handles herself with resilience, unaware that she's slowly stirring Bernard's buried emotions. Just as Jerlyn begins to adapt to her new role, Bernard's ex-girlfriend, an ambitious businesswoman named Victoria, reappears in his life. With a powerful presence and unmatched sophistication, she embodies everything Jerlyn feels she lacks. Victoria makes it clear she wants Bernard back, using both charm and manipulation to rekindle their relationship. Bernard is taken aback by her sudden interest, unsure of her true intentions. Although he assures Jerlyn that he has moved on, she can sense the complex emotions that linger between them. Victoria's presence brings tension, creating an awkward distance between Bernard and Jerlyn. Confused and disheartened, Jerlyn contemplates resigning, feeling that her role is adding unnecessary complication to Bernard's life. However, just as she's about to step back, Bernard invites her out to lunch, sensing her discomfort. For the first time, he opens up about his past with Victoria, the pain of betrayal, the bitterness that turned his heart cold, and his struggles to trust anyone again. Jerlyn listens, genuinely touched by his vulnerability, realizing that beneath his stern exterior lies a man who has been deeply wounded. Their lunch ends with an unspoken understanding between them, each silently acknowledging the unique connection they share. As Bernard and Jerlyn's bond deepens, their growing closeness becomes evident to everyone around them, including Bernard's family. His family members, protective of their social status and reputation, disapprove of Jerlyn, considering her a distraction and unworthy of their elite circle. At a family dinner, Bernard's mother pointedly reminds him of his responsibilities and the importance of choosing a suitable partner. Jerlyn, deeply hurt by their veiled criticisms, begins to question whether she belongs in Bernard's life at all. Despite his family's disapproval, Bernard grows more protective of Jerlyn, spending more time with her and confiding in her about the pressures he faces. He starts to open up, sharing memories of his childhood and the expectations he has struggled to meet. Jerlyn, with her warm support and encouragement, becomes his safe haven, and he begins to realize how much he values her presence. But the weight of family pressure and societal expectations hangs heavy over them. As tension mounts, Bernard's emotions become harder to control. In a moment of vulnerability, he tells Jerlyn she means more to him than she realizes. He stops short of confessing his true feelings, but his words reveal the depth of his affection, leaving Jerlyn both elated and fearful of the road ahead. Together, they stand on the precipice of a romance fraught with challenges, one that will test their resilience and willingness to defy the odds for the sake of love. As Jerlyn continues working for Bernard, their connection only deepens, becoming an unspoken yet powerful bond. However, her life becomes more complicated when she receives an invitation to accompany Bernard to an exclusive business conference held in a luxurious resort city. Nervous but excited, Jerlyn wonders if Bernard's motives for bringing her along go beyond mere business. She arrives at the resort dressed modestly compared to the wealthy attendees but quickly adapts to the high-stakes environment, impressing even the seasoned business leaders with her insights and warmth. During the event, Bernard finds himself gravitating toward her, and for the first time, he loosens his normally rigid, professional demeanor. Their shared moments become infused with laughter, and Bernard, inspired by Jerlyn's positivity, rediscovers simple joys he had long forgotten. After one intense day at the conference, they wander along the shoreline at sunset, exchanging stories of their pasts and secret dreams for the future. It's a rare, tender moment that leaves both of them breathless, caught in a mix of emotions they can't quite express. This night marks a turning point for them as they realize that their relationship is no longer merely professional but something far deeper, something that frightens and excites them both. Back in the city, Bernard and Jerlyn's connection becomes more noticeable, sparking rumors among his employees and sparking jealousy in Victoria, who had assumed Bernard's loyalty to her would eventually win him back. Determined to break them apart, Victoria organizes a social gathering for high-profile business leaders and manipulates the situation so that Jerlyn finds herself uncomfortably out of place among the elite attendees. When Bernard arrives at the event, he immediately senses Jerlyn's discomfort and stands by her side, openly defending her against the subtle, elitist insults thrown her way. Seeing this, Victoria confronts Bernard privately, warning him that associating with someone beneath his class will harm his reputation in business. Bernard, frustrated and fed up with Victoria's schemes, reminds her that their past relationship is over and that Jerlyn's genuine heart and authenticity are what make her special. This revelation only fuels Victoria's determination to drive a wedge between Bernard and Jerlyn. As the night unfolds, Jerlyn overhears Victoria's harsh words and, feeling like an outsider once again, questions if her growing affection for Bernard is worth the inevitable heartbreak. Despite Bernard's reassurances, doubts and insecurities begin to take root in her heart. Determined to prove herself and erase any doubts, Jerlyn throws herself into her work, impressing Bernard with her dedication. He notices the distance growing between them and realizes how much he misses her warmth and easy laughter. Unwilling to let misunderstandings continue, he surprises her by inviting her on a spontaneous weekend getaway to a secluded countryside villa. The getaway allows them both to escape the city's pressures and enjoy the simplicity of nature, rekindling their connection in a peaceful, unpretentious setting. In the quiet of the countryside, Bernard opens up about his childhood struggles, the immense pressure to live up to his family's expectations, and his deep-seated fear of vulnerability. Jerlyn listens with empathy, understanding how hard it must be for him to carry these burdens. They spend the night stargazing, lost in each other's presence, both aware that they've crossed a line but unwilling to turn back. Before the night ends, Bernard reaches for Jerlyn's hand, and in that quiet, shared silence, they both acknowledge the unspoken love blossoming between them. Back in the city, things take a darker turn as Bernard's family pressures him to reconcile with Victoria for the sake of their family's reputation and business connections. They view Jerlyn as a distraction and openly criticize her in front of him, reminding him of his duty to protect their legacy. Bernard's mother, in particular, tries to manipulate him emotionally, convincing him that choosing Jerlyn would be a selfish decision that could harm the family's future. Bernard is torn between loyalty to his family and his undeniable love for Jerlyn, and the internal conflict begins to affect him, making him distant and brooding. Jerlyn, sensing his struggle, encourages him to pursue his own happiness, even if it means losing her. She assures him that she'll be okay and only wants what's best for him, despite the pain it causes her. Her selflessness deeply affects Bernard, and he realizes just how much he stands to lose if he lets her go. In a moment of emotional vulnerability, he takes Jerlyn in his arms, confessing the depths of his feelings and admitting that she has become his strength and inspiration. Though uncertain of the future, they both decide to face whatever challenges come their way, hand in hand, and navigate the opposition they know will only grow stronger. In the wake of their shared confession, Bernard and Jerlyn's relationship blossoms in secret, with stolen moments and whispered words exchanged behind closed doors. Despite the warmth and intensity between them, they face mounting pressures from Bernard's family and the watchful eyes of high society. Their bond grows deeper, but so does the sense of danger surrounding it. Bernard, determined to protect Jerlyn from his family's disapproval, starts keeping their relationship under wraps, avoiding public appearances and gatherings where she might be seen with him. Though Jerlyn understands his motives, she feels the sting of being hidden and begins questioning if she truly belongs in his world. Meanwhile, Victoria refuses to give up, using every tool at her disposal to keep Bernard close. She slyly arranges a meeting with Bernard's mother, where they discuss a business merger that could significantly benefit their families. The only catch? It hinges on Bernard and Victoria reconciling and officially reuniting. Bernard's mother, desperate to protect the family legacy, begins pressing him to reconsider Victoria, reminding him of the stability she could bring. The relentless pressure from his family forces Bernard into a moral dilemma, leaving him uncertain about whether he can truly have both love and duty. Jerlyn, sensing Bernard's internal conflict, decides to step back and give him space to make his own choices. She wants him to know he is free to choose his own path, even if it leads away from her. Despite her own feelings, she puts his happiness above her own, showing Bernard just how selfless her love truly is. She immerses herself in her work and distances herself from him, hoping that her absence will help him realize what he really wants. During this time, Bernard feels the weight of Jerlyn's absence profoundly, and he realizes how essential she has become to his life. He misses her laughter, her presence, and the way she grounds him amidst the chaos of his responsibilities. Unable to bear the silence between them any longer, he visits her late one night, pouring out his fears and insecurities. He confesses that he's torn between family duty and the love he feels for her. Jerlyn listens patiently, encouraging him to stay true to his values and choose the life he genuinely wants, even if it's without her. This moment strengthens Bernard's resolve, and he realizes he can't let her go, regardless of the consequences. Emboldened by his renewed commitment to Jerlyn, Bernard decides to confront his family, determined to assert his independence and break free from their expectations. However, his mother, unwavering in her stance, uses guilt and manipulation to try to sway him. She reminds him of all the sacrifices made to secure his position and the legacy they have built. Bernard's father, though more understanding, warns him that severing ties with the family's interests could result in financial consequences, including losing his place in the company. Despite their warnings, Bernard remains resolute, driven by his love for Jerlyn and his desire for a life where he can make his own choices. However, the confrontation leaves him emotionally drained, and he begins to question his own strength. Jerlyn, realizing the turmoil he's going through, remains a constant source of support, standing by his side and reminding him of the happiness they bring each other. She becomes his refuge, offering him comfort and reassurance, reminding him that love can be worth the risk. As their love grows stronger, Bernard decides to make a bold move, planning a private getaway for him and Jerlyn to a secluded coastal town. Here, away from the judging eyes and societal expectations, they can be themselves fully and freely. In the simplicity of this new environment, they find peace and joy, sharing moments that strengthen their bond and deepen their love. For the first time, they envision a future together, daring to dream of a life where they can build a family and create their own happiness. However, their blissful escape is short-lived. Upon their return, Bernard learns that his family has taken drastic measures to regain control over his life. They have initiated legal maneuvers to restrict his assets, hoping to pressure him into aligning with their wishes. Bernard is shocked by their ruthlessness, realizing that his family is willing to go to any lengths to maintain their influence. The weight of his decision bears down on him, and he begins to fear for Jerlyn's safety, knowing that his family might target her to manipulate him. Victoria seizes the opportunity to drive a wedge between Bernard and Jerlyn, feeding his family's anger and presenting herself as the only suitable choice for him. She reaches out to Jerlyn, taunting her and warning her to leave Bernard for her own good. Jerlyn, shaken but unwavering, stands her ground, telling Victoria that she won't back down from someone who lacks sincerity and integrity. This confrontation steals her resolve, but she becomes increasingly aware of the dangers their relationship faces. As tensions escalate, Bernard makes a life-changing decision. He confronts his family one last time, making it clear that his love for Jerlyn is non-negotiable. He expresses his willingness to walk away from his family's wealth and influence if it means he can be with the woman he loves. His family, realizing the depth of his commitment, is left stunned and divided. Though his mother remains cold, his father offers a quiet but supportive nod, acknowledging his son's determination. Bernard returns to Jerlyn, promising her that he is willing to face any challenges to protect their love. They both realize the path ahead will be far from easy, but they are prepared to face it together. In this chapter, their love reaches a new level of commitment and resilience, cementing their bond as they stand united against the forces trying to tear them apart. As Bernard and Jerlyn brace themselves for the impact of their choices, their lives become a whirlwind of tense family confrontations, quiet moments of love, and a renewed sense of resilience. Bernard, now fully estranged from his family, begins working on his own business projects, drawing on his skills and resources to create something independently. While he finds satisfaction in carving his own path, the sacrifices are clear. Social connections have weakened, invitations have grown rare, and his once deferential peers now regard him with mixed pity and admiration. Jerlyn, seeing Bernard's dedication, stands by his side, supporting his every endeavor. She knows he's facing an uphill battle, yet she marvels at his determination. In one particularly touching moment, Bernard expresses to Jerlyn that she is the one true constant in his life. He admits that, despite all the wealth he once had, she is the only person who makes him feel whole. Their love deepens as they navigate the challenges together, their relationship becoming more than just romance. It becomes a partnership founded on trust and mutual respect. Meanwhile, Victoria grows frustrated and restless as she watches her plan to drive Bernard back to her unravel. Desperate to separate him from Jerlyn, she reaches out to Jerlyn's employer. Wishes. Bernard is shocked by their ruthlessness, realizing that his family is willing to go to any lengths to maintain their influence. The weight of his decision bears down on him, and he begins to fear for Jerlyn's safety, knowing that his family might target her to manipulate him. Victoria seizes the opportunity to drive a wedge between Bernard and Jerlyn, feeding his family's anger and presenting herself as the only suitable choice for him. She reaches out to Jerlyn, taunting her and warning her to leave Bernard for her own good. Jerlyn, shaken but unwavering, stands her ground, telling Victoria that she won't back down from someone who lacks sincerity and integrity. This confrontation steals her resolve, but she becomes increasingly aware of the dangers their relationship faces. As tensions escalate, Bernard makes a life-changing decision. He confronts his family one last time, making it clear that his love for Jerlyn is non-negotiable. He expresses his willingness to walk away from his family's wealth and influence if it means he can be with the woman he loves. His family, realizing the depth of his commitment, is left stunned and divided. Though his mother remains cold, his father offers a quiet but supportive nod, acknowledging his son's determination. Bernard returns to Jerlyn, promising her that he is willing to face any challenges to protect their love. They both realize the path ahead will be far from easy, but they are prepared to face it together. In this chapter, their love reaches a new level of commitment and resilience, cementing their bond as they stand united against the forces trying to tear them apart. As Bernard and Jerlyn brace themselves for the impact of their choices, their lives become a whirlwind of tense family confrontations, quiet moments of love, and a renewed sense of resilience. Bernard, now fully estranged from his family, begins working on his own business projects, drawing on his skills and resources to create something independently. While he finds satisfaction in carving his own path, the sacrifices are clear. Social connections have weakened, invitations have grown rare, and his once deferential peers now regard him with mixed pity and admiration. Jerlyn, seeing Bernard's dedication, stands by his side, supporting his every endeavor. She knows he's facing an uphill battle, yet she marvels at his determination. In one particularly touching moment, Bernard expresses to Jerlyn that she is the one true constant in his life. He admits that, despite all the wealth he once had, she is the only person who makes him feel whole. Their love deepens as they navigate the challenges together, their relationship becoming more than just romance. It becomes a partnership founded on trust and mutual respect. Meanwhile, Victoria grows frustrated and restless as she watches her plan to drive Bernard back to her unravel. Desperate to separate him from Jerlyn, she reaches out to Jerlyn's employer, planting rumors and spreading half-truths about her, hoping to jeopardize her position at work. The pressure mounts as Jerlyn faces scrutiny at her workplace, with colleagues starting to view her with suspicion. Yet Jerlyn stands firm, determined not to let Victoria's tactics bring her down. She remains steadfast, choosing to confront any challenges head-on and stay true to herself. As Victoria's tactics escalate, Bernard begins to sense the extent of her interference in Jerlyn's life. When he learns about the trouble Jerlyn faces at work, he is furious, recognizing that Victoria is responsible. Bernard confronts Victoria, who brazenly denies any wrongdoing, brushing off his accusations with feigned innocence. Yet her eyes reveal the truth. She's willing to destroy anything to get what she wants. Bernard, fueled by anger and a newfound protectiveness over Jerlyn, warns Victoria that if she doesn't stop, she'll lose whatever respect he might have left for her. Unbeknownst to Bernard, Victoria has been scheming with his family behind the scenes. She presents herself to them as Bernard's logical choice, subtly reminding them of the advantages she brings with her connections, status, and willingness to support their legacy. In a cold meeting with Bernard's mother, Victoria proposes a plan to bring Bernard back to his senses. His mother, ever the pragmatist, reluctantly agrees, giving Victoria tacit approval to pressure Bernard in whatever way she deems necessary. Jerlyn, aware of the storm brewing around her, takes comfort in the unwavering support Bernard offers. In an intimate moment, they discuss their dreams and future, and Bernard confesses his fear that his past may always linger between them. Jerlyn reassures him that she's not afraid of his past, but is hopeful for their future. This conversation brings them closer together, and they begin to dream of a life beyond the chaos, an escape to a simpler, more fulfilling existence. The love between Bernard and Jerlyn is tested yet again when Bernard's family, growing desperate, takes drastic measures to control him. His father, who had previously stayed quiet, confronts him in a harsh ultimatum. Either Bernard leaves Jerlyn and returns to the family, or he will be cut off from all remaining family assets and inheritances. Bernard's father argues that his relationship with Jerlyn is reckless, emphasizing that it tarnishes the family's name and jeopardizes their legacy. Bernard, however, remains steadfast in his decision to stay with Jerlyn, rejecting his father's attempt to control him. When Jerlyn learns of the ultimatum, she is deeply affected, fearing that she's become a source of pain for Bernard. Although she loves him more deeply than ever, she begins to question whether their love is worth the sacrifices he's made. She confronts Bernard, asking him if he would ever regret choosing her. Bernard, in a passionate response, tells her that his love for her is the truest thing he's ever known, and that walking away from his family was a small price to pay to be with her. Just as they begin to feel secure in their love, Victoria returns with another ruthless plan. She manages to stir up rumors about Bernard's business ventures, causing investors to withdraw and projects to stall. As a result, Bernard faces financial strain, and he realizes that his efforts to build a future independently are in serious jeopardy. Seeing the toll it takes on Bernard, Jerlyn feels guilty, thinking that her presence in his life is the cause of all his suffering. She begins to consider whether leaving him might be the only way to give him a chance at a stable future. In a heart-wrenching decision, Jerlyn decides to break things off with Bernard to protect him. She writes him a letter, pouring her heart into her words, explaining that she cannot bear to see him lose everything because of her. She leaves it on his desk, hoping that he'll understand her reasons. When Bernard finds the letter, his world shatters. He reads her words in disbelief, struggling to comprehend why she would leave him after all they've been through. Overcome with grief and anger, he frantically searches for her, desperate to explain that he needs her, that she is worth every sacrifice he's made. Jerlyn, now staying at a small inn far from their shared memories, is racked with guilt and heartache. She tries to convince herself that she made the right choice, that she was protecting Bernard from a life of hardship. Yet, as the days pass, she realizes that her love for him is too powerful to deny, and the emptiness she feels is unbearable. When Bernard finally tracks her down, he confronts her with an intensity that leaves her speechless. He tells her that she is his world and that life without her would be hollow and meaningless. In an emotional reunion, Bernard reaffirms his commitment to Jerlyn, vowing to face any hardship as long as they are together. Their love, once fragile, has now become unbreakable, fortified by the trials they've endured. They decide to return to Bernard's business, determined to rebuild from scratch, relying solely on their resilience and trust in each other. Together, they face the future with hope and strength, ready to take on any obstacles that come their way. After reaffirming their commitment, Bernard and Jerlyn return to the city with a renewed sense of purpose. They both know their journey is far from over, and they brace themselves for new challenges. Bernard channels his frustrations and heartbreak into his business, pouring every ounce of energy into revitalizing his ventures. He partners with a few trusted friends who believe in him, carefully building up his network and reputation anew, this time with full transparency and resilience. Bernard's dedication impresses his business community, and he begins to regain his standing, one project at a time. Jerlyn, meanwhile, finds a position as an assistant at a modest company. Though it is a step down from her previous job, she is grateful for a fresh start and the chance to build a future on her own terms. She pours her energy into her work, proving herself to be diligent and resourceful. With each day that passes, she grows stronger, learning new skills and expanding her professional network. Bernard and Jerlyn's lives may not be as luxurious as they once were, but together, they find solace in their shared struggle. Their late-night conversations are filled with dreams of building something meaningful, proving to themselves and the world that their love and resilience can withstand any hardship. However, Victoria hasn't given up on her vendetta. Frustrated that Bernard is still with Jerlyn, she tries a different approach. Through a series of anonymous tips and backdoor tactics, she sends scandalous rumors to Bernard's business partners, insinuating that his recent financial challenges are due to unethical practices. Although his partners are initially suspicious, Bernard's transparency and honesty soon dispel their doubts. Each attempt by Victoria only strengthens Bernard's determination, and he realizes he must finally confront her directly if he and Jerlyn are to have peace. Bernard arranges a meeting with Victoria at a discreet location. When she arrives, he makes it clear that he is aware of her manipulations and interference in his life. Despite her attempts to feign innocence, Bernard's unwavering gaze reveals his determination. He demands that she stop meddling, explaining that her actions have only driven him further away, both emotionally and professionally. He tells her firmly that Jerlyn is his true love and that no amount of scheming will change that. In a moment of uncharacteristic vulnerability, Victoria confesses that her actions were driven by jealousy and fear. She tells Bernard that she believed they had a future together and felt betrayed when he chose Jerlyn. For a moment, Bernard softens, acknowledging that he once valued her as a friend but that he has moved on. He tells her that true love cannot be forced and that by trying to manipulate him, she has lost his respect. Bernard leaves the meeting feeling a sense of closure, hopeful that Victoria will finally understand and leave them in peace. That evening, Bernard and Jerlyn share a quiet dinner, enjoying a rare moment of peace. Bernard shares the details of his confrontation with Victoria, and Jerlyn listens intently, her heart swelling with pride. She realizes that they are no longer just two people in love. They are partners, facing the world together with an unbreakable bond. The weight of the past seems to lift, and they embrace the possibility of a future free from interference. Just as things begin to stabilize, a new challenge emerges. Bernard's mother, seeing that he is growing successful on his own and unyielding in his love for Jerlyn, decides to reach out to him. She invites him to a family dinner, explaining that his father wants to reconcile. Bernard, though wary, agrees to attend, hoping that this could be a chance to mend the rift in his family. When he arrives, however, he quickly realizes that the dinner is a ruse. His parents, along with a few family friends, have staged an intervention. They implore him to return to the family fold and suggest that his relationship with Jerlyn is a mistake. Bernard's mother even goes as far as to suggest that he could regain everything he's lost if he breaks ties with Jerlyn. Bernard feels a surge of anger and disappointment, realizing that his family's acceptance comes with conditions that he cannot accept. He makes it clear that he will not give up Jerlyn, regardless of the consequences. After leaving the dinner, Bernard feels a deep sadness. He had hoped that his family would eventually accept Jerlyn, but he now understands that their acceptance may never come. When he shares the details of the dinner with Jerlyn, she feels guilty, thinking that she has caused the rift in his family. Bernard reassures her, emphasizing that she has brought him true happiness and that his decision to choose her was his own. They promise to focus on the life they are building together, knowing that their love is worth every sacrifice. As the weeks pass, Bernard and Jerlyn's lives finally seem to settle into a peaceful routine. Bernard's business continues to grow, and Jerlyn excels in her new role, earning the respect of her colleagues. Together, they support each other's dreams, finding joy in the small victories and comfort in their shared resilience. They decide to take a short trip to a nearby countryside town, a chance to escape the city and reconnect with each other away from the pressures of work and family. During the trip, they explore the scenic landscapes, enjoy simple meals, and share stories of their childhoods, deepening their bond. One evening, as they sit under the stars, Bernard opens up about his dreams for their future. He envisions a life where they continue to support each other, where they can build a family filled with love and respect. Jerlyn, deeply moved, tells him that she shares the same dreams and that she has never felt so loved and accepted. Their journey has been filled with trials, but they realize that each challenge has only brought them closer. Their love has become a source of strength, a light that guides them through the darkness. They return from their trip feeling refreshed and ready to face whatever the future holds, knowing that they have each other. Their past may be filled with struggles, but they are confident that their future will be defined by the love and resilience they have cultivated together. After returning from their peaceful trip, Bernard and Jerlyn are met with a whirlwind of responsibilities and opportunities. Bernard's business has shown impressive growth, attracting the attention of prominent investors who are interested in partnering with him. Bernard is cautious, mindful of the lessons he's learned from his family's previous influence. He carefully assesses the potential partners, ensuring they align with his values and vision for ethical business practices. His attention to integrity earns him the respect of industry leaders, and he finds himself on the brink of expanding his business beyond what he'd ever envisioned. Meanwhile, Jerlyn receives a well-deserved promotion at her company. Her dedication and intelligence have caught the attention of her boss, who entrusts her with a critical project that could significantly impact the company's growth. Jerlyn pours herself into the project, working late hours and attending strategic meetings to learn from the company's top executives. With her increased responsibilities, however, comes mounting stress. She tries to hide this from Bernard, not wanting to worry him as he's busy with his own ambitious plans. One evening, as Jerlyn works late at the office, Bernard surprises her with a simple dinner and a bouquet of her favorite flowers. He gently encourages her to share her struggles, and she finally opens up about her fears of failing in her new role. Bernard listens patiently, assuring her that her hard work and talent have earned her this position and that she has every right to be there. His words give her renewed confidence, and they share a quiet moment, realizing that their love has become a pillar of strength amidst the pressures of their careers. As both Bernard and Jerlyn settle into their new responsibilities, an unexpected visitor arrives in their lives: Bernard's estranged younger sister, Liza. She reaches out to Bernard, expressing a desire to reconnect. Liza reveals that she, too, has been feeling the weight of family expectations and has long struggled with being overlooked in favor of her older brother. She confesses that her loyalty to their parents has led her to make decisions she regrets, and she seeks Bernard's forgiveness and understanding. Bernard is initially hesitant, having distanced himself from his family to avoid the manipulation and control they once exerted over him. But Jerlyn encourages him to give Liza a chance, sensing that she might genuinely want to make amends. Liza and Bernard agree to meet for coffee, and their conversation is filled with bittersweet memories of their childhood. Liza apologizes for her past actions and admits that she admires Bernard for standing up for his own happiness. She shares her own dreams, expressing a longing for independence and a life beyond the family's control. Moved by his sister's vulnerability, Bernard offers his support, encouraging her to pursue her passions and reassuring her that she has his unconditional love. Over the following weeks, Liza becomes a regular presence in their lives, bonding with Jerlyn and Bernard. Her presence brings a renewed sense of family, but one founded on mutual respect and love. Bernard realizes that he doesn't need to sever all ties with his family and that he can redefine family on his own terms. This newfound relationship with Liza brings a sense of healing and closure, allowing Bernard to finally let go of some of the pain from his past. Despite the positive strides in their personal and professional lives, an unexpected crisis shakes Bernard and Jerlyn to their core. Bernard's main investor, who had been instrumental in supporting his business's growth, suddenly withdraws from the partnership. The abrupt decision sends Bernard's company into a financial spiral, threatening to undo all the progress he's made. The investor's departure is accompanied by rumors that Bernard's family is involved, having influenced the investor to pull out in a last-ditch effort to pressure Bernard to return to the family fold. Devastated and feeling betrayed, Bernard confides in Jerlyn. She listens with compassion, reassuring him that they will weather this storm together. In an attempt to salvage the business, Bernard reaches out to his network of industry contacts, hoping to find new investors. Jerlyn, determined to support him, introduces him to some of her own connections, even though her role is unrelated to his industry. She attends networking events by his side, advocating for his business and sharing her faith in his vision. Their combined efforts attract the interest of a group of investors who are impressed by Bernard's resilience and commitment. These new investors are transparent and ethical, aligning with the values Bernard has worked so hard to uphold. The infusion of support allows him to stabilize the business, and he emerges from the crisis with a renewed sense of purpose. Bernard and Jerlyn realize that their love has not only helped them withstand adversity, but has also strengthened their resolve to build a future based on mutual support and trust. With the business crisis behind them, Bernard and Jerlyn begin to focus on their future together. They discuss their dreams, from career aspirations to their hopes of starting a family. Inspired by her own journey, Jerlyn decides to enroll in a business management course, hoping to expand her knowledge and one day start a business of her own. Bernard fully supports her decision, and they both look forward to the possibilities that lie ahead. However, another obstacle arises when Jerlyn's ex-fiancé, Daniel, unexpectedly resurfaces. Daniel had left Jerlyn without explanation years ago, and his sudden reappearance stirs painful memories. He reaches out to Jerlyn, claiming to have changed and seeking her forgiveness. Although hesitant, Jerlyn agrees to meet him, curious to understand his reasons for abandoning her. During their meeting, Daniel admits that he was overwhelmed by the expectations placed on him by his family and had chosen to pursue a career overseas rather than confront his fears. He apologizes sincerely, acknowledging the pain he caused her. Although Jerlyn appreciates his honesty, she realizes that her heart has long since moved on. She explains to Daniel that she has found true happiness with Bernard and that their relationship has allowed her to grow into the person she is today. Later, when Jerlyn shares the encounter with Bernard, he is relieved and grateful for her honesty. They both understand that their relationship is built on trust, and that, unlike her past, their love is steady and enduring. They take comfort in knowing that their bond is resilient enough to withstand anything life may throw their way. In a symbolic gesture, Bernard gifts Jerlyn a charm bracelet, each charm representing a milestone in their journey together. They make a promise to face the future together, grounded in love and an unshakable foundation of trust and respect. As Bernard and Jerlyn's relationship continues to grow, they begin seriously discussing marriage and the future. They agree that while they have experienced much together, they want their union to be a new beginning, a testament to the love they have built despite every obstacle. Bernard starts planning an intimate proposal, wanting it to be a moment that captures the essence of their journey. Bernard organizes a private weekend getaway to a serene coastal town, a place untouched by the hustle and bustle of city life. The cottage he books overlooks the ocean, and he plans a candlelit dinner on the beach for the proposal. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting warm golden hues across the water, Bernard brings Jerlyn to the shore. Amidst the calming waves and flickering candlelight, he kneels before her, presenting a ring and a heartfelt vow to love and cherish her for all of his days. Jerlyn, overcome with emotion, says yes, sealing their engagement with a kiss as the waves crash around them. Their engagement marks the beginning of a new chapter, but they also understand that they must confront any lingering issues before moving forward as a married couple. Bernard, in particular, wants to establish clear boundaries with his family. He knows that they may try to interfere in their lives, especially after hearing about the engagement. Determined to keep his relationship with Jerlyn untainted by his family's expectations, Bernard contacts his parents, expressing his commitment to Jerlyn and his unwillingness to bend to their influence. While this conversation is difficult, it brings him a sense of peace and freedom, allowing him to focus fully on building a future with Jerlyn. With the wedding date set, Bernard and Jerlyn throw themselves into planning the event. They agree on a simple yet elegant celebration, one that represents their journey and the values they hold dear. Jerlyn's creativity shines as she carefully selects every detail, from the floral arrangements to the wedding attire. She wants their wedding to reflect the love and authenticity that have defined their relationship. As they prepare for their wedding, Bernard's sister, Liza, reaches out, offering to help with the preparations. Liza, who has become a close friend and confidant to Jerlyn, is thrilled about their union and eager to contribute to the celebration. Her assistance is invaluable, and she becomes instrumental in keeping everything organized, helping Bernard and Jerlyn navigate the logistical challenges with ease. Her presence and genuine support mean a great deal to both of them, reinforcing the importance of chosen family and real support. However, their happiness is briefly interrupted when they receive an unexpected call from Jerlyn's ex-fiancé, Daniel, who heard of their engagement through mutual friends. Daniel expresses remorse over the mistakes he made in the past and asks for one final meeting with Jerlyn to give her closure. Jerlyn, with Bernard's blessing, agrees to meet him, wanting to put any lingering doubts behind her. During their conversation, Daniel sincerely apologizes, admitting that his departure years ago stemmed from his own insecurities. He expresses admiration for her strength and happiness with Bernard, finally able to let go of the past. Jerlyn, touched by his apology, assures him she has forgiven him and that she is excited for her future with Bernard. The meeting gives her the closure she didn't know she needed, allowing her to enter marriage without any emotional baggage. The wedding day arrives, bathed in warm sunlight and filled with the love of close friends and family. The venue is a breathtaking garden surrounded by trees and flowers, a place where nature and love harmonize. Bernard stands at the altar, his heart swelling as he sees Jerlyn walk down the aisle, radiant in her gown. As their eyes meet, both feel the magnitude of this moment, the culmination of every hardship, every joy, and every decision that has led them to each other. Their vows are heartfelt, capturing their commitment to stand by one another in all seasons of life. Bernard promises to support Jerlyn's dreams and love her unconditionally, while Jerlyn vows to be his partner in every sense, to honor and protect their love. With the exchange of rings and a kiss, They are pronounced husband and wife, met by cheers and applause from their loved ones. As the reception unfolds, laughter and joy fill the air. Liza makes a heartfelt toast to the couple, expressing her gratitude for their love and friendship. She shares how Jerlyn's unwavering support has inspired her to follow her own dreams, and how Bernard has shown her the meaning of true resilience and courage. Her words touch everyone in attendance, reminding them of the strength of family and the beauty of second chances. The night ends with Bernard and Jerlyn dancing under the stars, lost in their own world. Surrounded by those who care about them, they feel an overwhelming sense of fulfillment, knowing they have overcome every obstacle to create this moment. Their love is not only a source of strength for them, but also an inspiration to everyone who has witnessed their journey. As newlyweds, Bernard and Jerlyn embark on a romantic honeymoon, a much-needed escape after the intensity of wedding preparations. They travel to a secluded island, where they spend their days exploring hidden coves, hiking through lush landscapes, and savoring quiet moments together. It's a time of pure joy and discovery, allowing them to deepen their connection and create memories they will carry with them forever. During a quiet evening on the beach, Bernard and Jerlyn reflect on the journey that brought them together. They acknowledge the trials they have faced and the lessons they have learned. Bernard expresses his gratitude for Jerlyn's unwavering belief in him, even during his darkest moments. Jerlyn, in turn, thanks him for his love and support, for giving her the strength to follow her own path. Their honeymoon is a beautiful start to their married life, filled with laughter, adventure, and shared dreams. They talk about the future, from the family they hope to build to the personal goals they wish to achieve. They both agree that their marriage will be a partnership of equals, one rooted in respect, support, and shared values. Upon returning home, Bernard and Jerlyn settle into their new life with a sense of peace and purpose. Their home becomes a sanctuary, a place where they can be themselves and find refuge from the outside world. Together, they continue to pursue their careers, each encouraging the other to reach new heights. Their love has become a foundation upon which they can build their lives, resilient and unbreakable. After returning from their honeymoon, Bernard and Jerlyn settle into married life, each embracing the new chapter with a deep sense of contentment. Their days are filled with the simple joys of companionship, cooking meals together, taking evening walks, and sharing their dreams for the future. They fall into a comfortable rhythm, one marked by a deeper understanding of each other's quirks and habits, building the intimacy they had once only dreamed of. However, life soon brings new challenges. Bernard's family, having previously disapproved of Jerlyn, makes an unexpected visit to their home. His parents, who still cling to traditional values, question Jerlyn's influence over Bernard, suggesting she has steered him away from family obligations. Bernard stands firm, defending his marriage and reminding his family that his love for Jerlyn has transformed him for the better. He declares that his loyalty now belongs to his wife and their future together. This confrontation strengthens the bond between him and Jerlyn, who realizes the depth of Bernard's commitment to their life together. To celebrate their unity and newfound independence, Bernard and Jerlyn decide to host a dinner for their closest friends and family. The gathering serves as a joyful reminder of how far they have come, from the struggles and misunderstandings that once kept them apart to the happiness and love that now surround them. Bernard takes the opportunity to make a toast, thanking Jerlyn for her unwavering support and expressing his gratitude to everyone who has encouraged their journey. His words bring tears to Jerlyn's eyes, as she realizes that Bernard is not only her husband, but also her greatest ally. At the end of the evening, Bernard surprises Jerlyn with a beautifully bound journal in which he has documented their love story, recounting every meaningful moment from their first meeting to their wedding day. The journal becomes a symbol of their shared memories, a testament to the love that has endured despite every obstacle. Jerlyn is deeply moved, and they make a promise to continue filling the journal with new memories and experiences as they journey through life together. Time passes, and Jerlyn and Bernard grow stronger as a couple, supporting each other's aspirations and goals. Jerlyn, inspired by her journey with Bernard, begins working on a community project aimed at empowering young women to pursue their dreams. With Bernard's encouragement, She channels her energy into creating workshops, mentorship programs, and networking opportunities. Her project becomes a success, drawing attention from the media and local organizations who applaud her dedication to helping others. Bernard, in turn, pursues his own ambitions, expanding his business and taking on new challenges. He becomes a respected figure in his field, admired for his integrity and kindness, values he learned from Jerlyn. Together, they attend events and conferences, becoming known as a power couple whose relationship is built on mutual respect and unwavering support. As they reach the one-year anniversary of their wedding, Bernard and Jerlyn reflect on the incredible journey that has brought them to this moment. They plan a quiet celebration at the same coastal town where Bernard proposed, returning to the cottage by the sea that holds so many beautiful memories. The weekend is filled with laughter, joy, and a renewed commitment to each other, reminding them of the love that has weathered every storm. During an intimate conversation by the fire, they talk about the next chapter of their lives, starting a family. Both excited and a little nervous, they agree that they are ready to embrace the joys and challenges of parenthood. They imagine the life they will build for their future children, one filled with love, guidance, and the values that have defined their relationship. Their anniversary celebration ends with a promise to continue cherishing each other, to never lose sight of the love that has brought them this far. They know that life will bring its share of difficulties, but they are confident that together they can face anything. As they stand on the shore, hand in hand, watching the waves roll in, they feel a profound sense of peace, knowing they have found a home in each other's hearts. The journal Bernard gifted to Jerlyn now lies open on the table, awaiting new memories, new challenges, and new triumphs. With each entry, their love story grows richer, a beautiful reminder of the journey they have traveled and the future they will continue to build hand in hand. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more delightful stories.